Filipinos love to eat. Don't you know that Pinoys eat more than 3 times a day? But we will discuss that later in our coming episodes. But what does Filipino foods consist of? As in most ASEAN countries, the staple food in the Philippines is rice. It is most often steamed and always served with meat, fish, and vegetable dishes. Leftover rice is often fried with garlic to make sinangag, which is usually served at breakfast, together with fried tuyo, fried egg, and cured meat or sausages. Hey guys, our video for today will deal with the Chronicles of the Filipino Food Culture series, bringing to you the Pinoy Customs and Cuisine Episode 1, only here on your information channel, RLumbang MyMEDIA, in cooperation with Untitled Media. Filipino food is simple to cook and always a pleasure to serve and eat. Like in any simple recipe, it's all about the quality of ingredients and the cooking techniques. The blend of flavors and textures make them stand out. Pinoy food is unique because it draws inspiration from several influences. And you can definitely taste the Spanish, the Chinese, the American, India, and other Western influences with each dish. Also, the warmth extended to family and friends motivates Filipinos to cook with love. The typical Filipino meal is composed of vegetables, seafoods, dairy, meat, and rice. Now, before anything else, we will discuss first the culinary history of Philippine food culture. During the pre-Hispanic era in the Philippines, the preferred Austronesian method for food preparation were boiling, steaming, and roasting. Now, the ingredients for common dishes were obtained from the locally raised livestock. This ranged from water buffalo or carabaos, chickens, and pigs, to various kinds of fish and other seafoods. In 3200 BCE or before Common Era, Austronesians from southern China or Yunnan Guizhou Plateau and Taiwan settled in the region that is now called the Philippines. They brought with them the knowledge of rice cultivation and other farming practices, which increased the number and variety of edible dish ingredients available for cooking. As stated, there have been foreign influences of Filipino cuisines, and this may be confusing to some people due to its being hard to determine what is actually Filipino. Confusion occurs due to the consistent growing phases of Filipino culture. Filipino culture has been constantly changing throughout history, gaining influence from various cultures and inevitably evolved. Filipino food today has been shaped by history and society of many unique and affluent cultures. Influences from China, India, and Arabia are seen throughout the Filipino food and culture due to agricultural trading times. Influences from Spain and the United States are seen through the past colonization of the country. Now, let's see what are these influences. The Indian influences. Indian influences can be noted in such rice-based delicacies such as bibingka, which is analogous to Indonesian's bingka, puto and puto bongbong, where the latter two are possibly derived from the South Indian putu. Achara originated from the Indian achar or akar, which was transmitted via akar of Indonesia, Malaysia, and Brunei. Not to mention the nasing biringi, a popular Kapampangan dish, is similar to biryani. The Chinese influences. The Chinese have been trading with our forefathers since the early 9th and 10th centuries. That's quite long time ago. Soon after, the Chinese began to immigrate here in the 16th century. Chinese influences is best seen in pancit noodles and lumpia or spring rolls. There are also many ingredients that came from China, such as soy sauce or toyo, black beans, tofu, etc., that are seen in Filipino cooking. The Japanese influences. Halo-halo, a Filipino term for mixed, is a popular cold dessert in the Philippines, made up of crushed ice, evaporated milk or condensed milk, and various sweetened ingredients will give you a cool and refreshing dessert. But did you know that the origin of halo-halo is traced to the pre-war Japanese Filipinos and the Japanese kakigori desserts, which was shaved ice served with sweet beans. And then Americans introduced ice to the Philippines in the mid-1800s and then built the first ice plant, the insular ice plant, in 1902. With the readily availability of the ice and the introduction of the new foods by the Japanese during their occupation prior to World War II, halo-halo began to form its root. The Spanish influences. The Spanish came in the Philippines and ruled each island by 1566 until 1899. Filipinos begin using the Spanish sofrito of tomatoes, onions, and garlic cooked in oil for their dishes. Since then, many cooking customs and techniques were adapted as well as various dishes. And we will discuss that in the latter part of this series. The American influences. After the Spanish-American War, in 1899, the United States controlled the Philippines due to the Treaty of Paris. The Philippine-American War between the years 1899 to 1902. US soldiers introduced Filipinos to hot dogs, hamburgers, and ice cream. Eventually, they also introduced convenient foods such as spam, corned beef, instant coffee, and the evaporated milk. Filipino food reflects the culture of the Filipino. The Filipino family are fond of having a mix of various dishes on the dining table, and it reflects the hospitality of the Filipinos and the culture of close family ties. As the saying goes, when we eat in our home, we are always together. Hi again, this is Rene with RLumbang MyMEDIA and in cooperation with Real Life Media, inviting you to see you again in episode 2 of our series, The Chronicles of the Filipino Food Culture, featuring the Filipino customs and cuisines. And as always, give love and peace to others. Happy eating!